Hey folks, I'd like to share with you a video today on some really cool facts about these BNSF locomotives. Firstly, that fuel tank is 5,000 gallon capacity. That's a lot of fuel. But this type of locomotive, which was built by GE, is called a C44-9W. It's one of the most successful locomotives produced. And apparently, according to sources that I've got on the internet, and I'll link them in the video description, there was only about 3,668 of this type of locomotive produced. So that's interesting too. And the cost to produce one of these, or actually, I guess to buy one, is between 1.5 and 2 million bucks. And there's what, 7 of them sitting here? That's a lot of cash, baby. A lot of cash. But anyway, let's continue to fly down with the Phantom 4. And I'm using a new controller today too, the GL300K Kilo. And I did not originally like that controller when I first bought it with the Phantom 4 Pro V2. I sold it. I've since rebought it because I've got to do a job that requires the use of that controller because it has HDMI. Anyway, I'm using it today and it works fine. Let's talk about these locomotives. But once again, these are a 4,400 horsepower road switcher locomotive. These things travel like long haul truckers all over the country. And the different numbers on each of these locomotives, you can look them up and see where these locomotives have been spotted. Some of these have been spotted in Arizona, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico. You know, there's a whole community of people that follow these trains and take photos of them, etc. And it's just really cool to know that, you know, right here, this number 4562 locomotive, you can see down there on the arrow what that is. And that's telling you that it's a C44-9W, which stands for, I think, a wide cab. But at any rate, it tells you what type of locomotive it is. And the number on that locomotive, 4562, it's been spotted in Louisiana, San Diego, Alabama, Arizona, all over. It's pretty cool. And for those of you who thought the federal government was not involved in as much of your life as possible, they also control and regulate train horns. This is taken from the BNSF.com website. And you know, the facts I'm going to list are kind of interesting, and they may help you, understand why trains blow their horn so much. They are required per federal law to blow their horn at every crossing, at all public crossings for the protection and safety of motorists, pedestrians, whether or not the crossing has gates or lights are present. Only crossings that have Federal Railroad Administration criteria for a quiet zone do not require the horn to be sounded. But a crew can be fined for not sounding the horn enough or in the proper pattern. There's a pattern to the way they blow the horn also at different crossings, I guess. But anyway, it's pretty interesting. You can find that information out at bnsf.com, and I'll link that in the description down below. So they did a crew change, and you can see the conductor, engineer, or train operator, I'm not sure what you call him, sitting there in the window. They did that crew change while I changed batteries on the drone. And we're going to go ahead and just fly up close and down the side of these locomotives here and kind of give you just a really cool up-close view. The train is going to leave here shortly, and it is a long train. That's for sure. It's got 7 of these locomotives on there that can produce 4,400 horsepower apiece. So they're getting ready to pull some weight. I don't know where they're going, but it's destined to be a good time. I mean, the train operator may think differently. They probably get tired of it after a while too, just like I drive truck, and after a while It's not what they promised me. But, this is just a beautiful piece of equipment, man. I mean, look at that long, sexy locomotive, and he's taking off there, man. I hear him power up. That train is just powering and revving up. Then he releases the brakes, and you can see the exhaust come out here. Look at that, man. Gosh, that's incredible. And it just rumbles, and the ground is shaking right there, and you can see all the exhaust coming up. The Phantom does a wonderful job. There is no better camera on a drone, man, than that Phantom 4 V2 Pro. I love it. Look at this, man. These auto racks. Incredible. We're going to also take a look here shortly at a roundhouse or a round table. It turns the entire locomotive around to help it face, or to make it face the opposite direction. I'll show you that here in a little bit. We'll follow this train for a little while. I'm going to come up over these telephone wires here, and we'll just follow this train out for a little bit. But this is going from Richmond right here, from the BNSF Richmond yard. And it's just, look at all that. $1.5 to $2 million a piece, and there's like 7 of them right there. It's incredible. Then there's BART. Who cares about BART trains? Here's that roundhouse. I don't know what the exact term for it's called, but I know they have these like in San Francisco for the cable cars. But at any rate, that yellow outlined area, the train locomotive comes out of that. I guess it's a maintenance shed right there. And they can put it onto that round table, and that whole table spins. And I guess the train can, they can turn it to the opposite direction using that, that round table there. Kind of zoom in on it here and take a look at it. It's pretty cool. And that's, I guess that's where they fill them up next to the round, that turntable there. But how awesome is this, man? I mean, how often do you get to see, one of these little round tables? And I don't know how many there are of these throughout the country. A friend of mine was telling me there's only like 2 of them. I didn't Google that. I should look that up. But he used to work for the railroad, so I'm sure he would know. But at any rate, this is just a really cool view of something that you don't get to see very often. I wish there would have been a train on there, but you can't have it all the time. At any rate, there's a lot of traffic in this yard. I haul fuel, and I'm down by the refineries all the time right in this area. And, there's just a tremendous amount of automotive, auto rack cars. And you can see here all those auto racks. There's another set of locomotives there. They're different. I didn't get a chance to see the numbers because I just wasn't going to fly that close. I didn't want to be intrusive. I didn't want to bug people, and I didn't want to hit wires or anything that may be, in that area. But these are a different kind of locomotive than the ones we just saw. This guy's going to hook up to this set of cars here and move it around somewhere. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. This has been a great time of learning about some cool things about these locomotives. So the next time you see a train going down the road, or going alongside the road, you might be able to look at it and say, hey, man, I remember what Mike said about those trains in the YouTube videos. Take care, like, and subscribe.